Good morning and welcome to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Hope everyone is doing well on this Saturday morning. It is game day. But before we obviously enjoy today's football, hopefully we enjoy it. Hopefully we're not sat here at 5 o'clock with our weekend ruined. But we've got lots of topics to discuss. So before we get into that, please do me a small favour. Give the video a like. Let's try and get 500 likes on this episode today. And if this is your first time watching, also make sure to hit that subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell as well. Why not? Right, so we have got lots and lots of bits to get into. So let's start off with some of Erik ten Hag's quotes. He obviously spoke to the press yesterday ahead of today's 3 p.m. game against Brentford. And actually, before we get into that, I want to ask you a question. I try and make the shows interactive. And what I want from you today is your score predictions. What are your score predictions for Manchester United versus Brentford? Let me know in the comments section. Let me know what your thoughts are. I think Man United are going to win today. Do you know what's scary? Man United have only scored one goal at home in the Premier League so far this season. Who have we played at home? Tottenham, Liverpool and Fulham. The one goal we scored was against Fulham. Crazy. At Old Trafford, one goal this season. I think it's going to be different today. I think the game's going to be very open. I think there's going to be lots of goals for both teams. I'm going to go 3-1 Manchester United. I mean, we have to win today. We have to. There's no excuses. We can't be sat here at 5 o'clock having drawn or lost. Like, we just can't. We need to kind of build on the momentum. Sorry, we don't have any momentum at the moment, but we need to build some momentum right now, don't we? Like, this is the perfect moment in our season. We've just come off the back with a draw against Aston Villa, which isn't terrible, considering Aston Villa away from home is a difficult game now. But when you look at the past kind of 6 or 7 games, right? Manchester United haven't won a game of football since we beat Barnsley, and that was on the 17th of September. So we haven't won a game of football in over a month, which is alarming. Obviously, everyone thought that things had changed. We beat Southampton 3-0, and then we go and beat Barnsley 7-0. And then after that, we've played 5 games of football and we haven't won a single game. We drew 4 and lost 1. So today is obviously must win. We have to win, you know, because after today, you obviously have to then go to Turkey to play Fenerbahce, which is going to be an incredibly difficult match. Obviously, Jose Mourinho, the manager of Fenerbahce, you know, we know that when Man United or any English team go to Turkey, it's always a very hostile environment in the stadium. So today, we have to win. So yeah, I'm going 3-1 Manchester United. Let's run through some team news for you really, really quickly because we have got some positivity to bring you on this Saturday morning. And Erik ten Hag has confirmed that our Manuel Ugarte is available to start the game today. So that's really, really positive. Obviously, Kobe Mainoo's injured. Harry Maguire's injured. There's some other people who are injured as well. I'll come back to that in a minute. But let's focus on Manuel Ugarte for a minute here. So obviously, he came off injured in the international break for Uruguay. So there was some concerns that he may not be fit and available for the game today. But apparently he's pulled through. Apparently he is available. Erik ten Hag's exact words are, yes, Manuel Ugarte is available. This was from an interview that got released about 9 hours ago. So he probably should be starting, shouldn't he? If I was Erik ten Hag today, I would probably go Casemiro, Ugarte and Fernandes. I think we need that stability in our midfield today. I think if we try and open the game up too much, it's going to be like a basketball game, isn't it? It's going to be end-to-end. Whereas I think if you had Casemiro and Ugarte with either Bruno, Xerxes or Eriksen as the number 10, I think you do have that level of stability then. In all honesty, it probably won't be that. It will probably be Eriksen, Bruno and Casemiro, I imagine. That would be, if I had to predict, I would say that's who Erik ten Hag will pick. Do I want those players to be picked? It wouldn't be my pick, but obviously I'm not the Man United manager, so you have to trust the manager. But I do personally think that going for a slightly more defensive and pragmatic style against Brentford today is a little bit more sensible because Brentford are a good team. I know people are like, oh, it's only Brentford, blah, blah, blah. But like, Brentford are a good side. They've had their manager for a long time. They've been in the Premier League for a long time. They scored 5 goals in their last Premier League match against Wolverhampton Wanderers. 5-3 that game finished. So they concede a lot of goals, but they also score a lot of goals. And this is an opportunity here where, if we go into this game in the right manner, I think we can win it quite comfortably. But if we try and leave the game too open, it's going to be literally going back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. And in those types of games where you don't have the control, anything can happen, you know? So, yeah, I think today I really want to see some stability from Manchester United. I want to see us having lots of the ball, retaining the ball well, and obviously effectively in the end of it winning the game. But I'm going 3-1 Manchester United. I'll go through my kind of predicted lineup. So the lineup I would go for would be Onana in goal. We're going to go with Dalot at left back. We're going to go for a defensive two of... let's have a think. Defensive two. So obviously Harry Maguire's injured. Johnny Evans is available. I would either go with De Ligt and Martinez or Martinez and Johnny Evans. Either of those two combinations. And then obviously Mazraoui at right back. Midfield, I'm going to go with Casemiro, Ugarte and Xerxes. It's not going to happen, but that's who I would pick. Xerxes is the number 10. And then on the left, I'd go with Rashford. On the right, I would go with Ahmad. And then striker, I would go with Rasmus Højlund. If he's fit. Rasmus Højlund might not be fit. We're still waiting to find out if Rasmus Højlund's fit. So we'll wait and see what happens with that one. But you can let me know in the comment section, what are your score predictions for the game today? Very interested to see what you all have to say. Okay, let's move on from that though. So obviously, Emmanuel Ugarte is available. Let's talk a little bit about Luke Shaw then, shall we? Because this is not good news. So this came out from a couple of different people last night saying that apparently Luke Shaw still isn't even back in first team training. We're in the middle of October. We were told before that he'd be back and available to start after the international break. The international break is over and he's still not even training with the team at this stage. And the headline is apparently that Luke Shaw will not be available anytime soon. He has still not even started training. I mean, he hasn't played football properly. I know he played a couple of minutes at the Euros, but that was literally a couple of minutes. The last time he played consistently for Manchester United was in January. So what, 10, 11 months ago when he played maybe a few games in a row. So even if he does start training, say next week, it's still probably going to take maybe a month to get him back to match fitness. By then, you're probably around Christmas. So it's an absolute mess with Luke Shaw. It really is. But keeping on the topics of left backs, Erik ten Hag was asked about Alvaro Fernandez in his press conference last night. Obviously, Alvaro Fernandez left Manchester United last summer to join Benfica on a permanent deal. And Erik ten Hag has confirmed that Manchester United do have a buyback clause. They say that they are monitoring him. They're assessing the situation. And he says that Alvaro Fernandez returning is an option for Manchester United. He does, however, say that playing for Manchester United is not so easy. Playing in the Premier League for Manchester United is not easy. You need experience. You need to develop. I mean, I get all of that, but let's not mess around here, Erik ten Hag, right? Alvaro Fernandez has gone to play for Benfica, who are, I would say, the biggest team in Portugal, right? Massive fan base. Obviously not on the level of Manchester United, but they have a big fan base. They're playing in the Champions League. And he's playing every single game for them. So I don't really understand this narrative. It's not like he's gone to Benfica and he's warming the bench. He's gone to Benfica, he's playing in the Champions League, he's playing in the Portuguese league. I don't understand the logic behind what he's saying. I get that that he needs experience and he's only been there for 2 months. So obviously you're not going to bring him back right now, but so far, I think he's doing really well. And I think the reason that the media are asking him this question is because we let him go when we knew that Luke Shaw was injury prone and we knew that Malacia, we didn't even know what's going on with Malacia, but we knew that we had issues at left back and we allowed Alvaro Fernandez to leave. Now, I don't think that was the wrong decision because at that point, it's not like we could rely on Alvaro Fernandez. He was just a youth player and he's only really started to shine since he's gone to Benfica. So the logical thing to do would be to reevaluate probably next summer. Trying to bring him back in January, I think that's probably a little bit premature. I think in the January window, you probably want to look for maybe an emergency loan option, someone like Reguilon, something like that. I'm not saying that's my dream signing. I'm just saying, in the January window, try and bring in somebody on loan to fill that left back role. That's probably the most sensible thing that Manchester United can do. But I would definitely like to see Alvaro Fernandez back at Manchester United. I've seen him play a couple of times for Benfica this season, and he does look good. He looks like I wouldn't say he's probably ready yet to come straight back to Manchester United. He literally has only played 9 games for Benfica. It's not like he's been there for 2 seasons. He's played 9 matches. He joined in the summer. I know he was on loan there last season as well, but how many games did he play last season? Let's have a look. Because I know this season he's been a starter for Benfica, but I'm not entirely sure how many games he played last season. Let's have a look. So 23-24. He played 30 times last season across all competitions. Because obviously he was on loan at Granada as well, wasn't he? He played 11 times for Benfica, 13 times for Granada, and then played in the Europa League. So yeah, I mean, he's had quite a lot of experience. Obviously, mainly at left back. He does occasionally play as a left midfielder, but his best role is at left back. So yeah, he's played 25 times for Benfica, 14 times for Granada. And obviously he was at Preston on loan as well. So yeah, it's definitely one to keep an eye on. In relation to the buyback clause, it's all still a little bit unclear as to how much money it would be to bring him back. From what I've seen, it's somewhere around 17-18 million pounds, which isn't terrible. We received, I think it was about 5 or 6 million pounds from Benfica in the summer for him. So it's still a big profit for Benfica, but you can't really argue with it. If they've turned him into the player that we all thought he could be, then we should pay a bit of a premium on top, shouldn't we? Let's see what people are saying in the chat this morning. I'm just going to have a sip of my tea quickly. Lots of people saying that Luke Shaw's past it. Yeah. I've kind of gone past the point of caring with Luke Shaw. There was a point where it really bothered me, it really frustrated me. And then I just thought, there's nothing we can do about it. Ed Woodward, John Murtaugh, Richard Arnold was stupid enough to give him this new contract. So he's our problem now. No one's going to buy Luke Shaw off us. He's on big wages, £200,000 a week, and he can barely play 1 game of football without getting injured again. And he turns 30 very soon as well. So Luke Shaw's footballing career, to me, it might sound a little bit dramatic, but it's getting to the point here where, he's not going to retire because he's obviously being paid by Manchester United, but, he's got 3 years left on his deal at Manchester United. So we're going to be talking about Luke Shaw for another 3 years. That's a horrible thing to think about, isn't it? Obviously, at the end of those 3 years, he'll leave, but, it's not good. He's already missed 19 games this season for injury. How is that even possible? 24-25, 19 games. Oh, right. I think that's in 2000. How is that possible? The season's only just... Have we played 19 games already? Maybe that's including international fixtures. He missed 38 games last season. He's missed 19 games this season already. Oh, it's horrible. Horrible to think. Right, what else have we got? Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Somebody in the chat thinks we're going to win 3-0 today. That's good to have some positivity. That's nice. I just hope we win. I think we just need a bit of positivity, do you know what has been really nice the last couple of days? We know that the mainstream media are absolutely obsessed with Manchester United because obviously it is the biggest club in the world. It gets clicks, it gets engagement, all the rest of it. We know that, okay? But ever since Thomas Tuchel was announced as the England manager, most of the mainstream media, they've just been focusing on Thomas Tuchel. Is it okay that a foreign coach is, it's all of this kind of narrative, and that's what they're all talking about. And it'll be interesting to see how this game goes today. Because although there's pressure on Erik ten Hag, right? I don't think we've actually spoke about Erik ten Hag much this week. And the external media aren't speaking about Erik ten Hag. All they're talking about is Thomas Tuchel, foreign manager managing England. That's all of these, the Talk Sports, the Sky Sports. Every single one of their news shows, or and their panel shows and all the rest of it is literally just talking about the England manager at the moment, isn't it? And I think it has been quite refreshing for me because usually you look at other, you listen to the radio, you go on YouTube, and all you see is Erik ten Hag should be sacked, blah, blah, blah. And it's like call-in shows. And it's just tiring because the fact of the matter is Ineos clearly don't want to sack Erik ten Hag at this point, So it's kind of pointless having the conversation because it's not up to us. But yeah, it's been quite nice this week to have a little bit of little bit of calm. And it'll be interesting to see how that kind of resonates onto the pitch today, because I think there is less pressure almost in some ways. Obviously, there is a lot of pressure. If he loses, it will be scrutiny and all the rest of it. But the point I'm making is, this week, the focus hasn't been on Erik ten Hag. The focus has been on Thomas Tuchel and the England job from most of the media. So it'll be very interesting to see how the team performs today. And hopefully they go out and do they put out a statement victory. We beat them by a big scoreline. It's probably not going to happen, but that's what I'm hoping for. I'm trying to feel positive about the situation. I'm trying to feel optimistic. We could easily be sat here at 5 o'clock after just being battered by Brentford. That could happen. We lost 4-0 to Brentford 2 years ago, didn't we? I think it was Erik ten Hag's second game as the Manchester United manager, and we lost 4-0 away to Brentford. Brentford are a good side. They've got a good manager. They've got good players. It's not going to be an easy game, but the point I'm making is we've got players who should be good enough to beat them, who are paid handsomely to play for Manchester United. We're playing at home. They have to be motivated to win this game, because the start to the season has been obviously absolutely appalling, and the start to the season at home has been absolutely appalling, losing 3-0 to Liverpool, 3-0 to Tottenham, and scraping past Fulham in the opening game of the season. So yeah, 3 o'clock kickoff. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully we get the win. But yeah, I'll be live straight after the game, by the way. So if you want to join me for the match reaction, as soon as the game finishes, I will go live. So make sure you join me for that. I'm going to wrap the video up here. Thank you very much for joining me. Please do make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. This has been Daily Red Devil. Have a lovely afternoon. Hopefully at 5 o'clock, we're sat here happy. Hopefully they don't ruin our weekend again. I'll speak to you all later. Bye for now.